So, hi everyone, to all my German followers, don't panic. The math tutorials will go on in German, but I decided to do a lot more content in English because we are living in exciting times when it comes to impact in digital technology on business models. We haven't seen anything yet, and I do a lot of stuff in this direction. I want to share with you all the knowledge I have, all the projects, so that you can step into a future that is so different. And I hope today I can share with you some good content. I will give a speech at Metro about the challenges of corporate innovation. What's this startup thing? How can corporates do this startup stuff, implement it into the business, and happy to share it with you. So see you next time. So thanks for having me. As Monica asked me, so we do this kickoff event with Metro and WHU. Would you like to speak a little bit about education and so on? I said immediately, yes, of course, because I see much more opportunity than only for the business of Metro or for WHU students. I can tell you that I do a lot of things with the next generation, and I see them after Mark Zuckerberg putting a hoodie on. We're doing this disruption thing. Let's disrupt the world. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur, and it's an art for itself to do this startup thing, this entrepreneurship thing. And every time I can record something and share with my community, I want to provide value. When you go to the internet, to the major platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, you find me telling a lot about mathematics in general. But since last year, I share a lot of content, what's going on in the world outside. So thank you for allowing me to record it and share it with my community. And YouTube is a core for me, where I'm giving a lot of content, and I could build a huge crowd and do a lot of business about that. And to dive in challenges, breaking news this morning, Instagram TV is launched. Instagram, a few years old. Mark Zuckerberg saw, oh, this could be something, did the acquisition, and now it's a major attack on YouTube. For me and my startups who do a lot of content on YouTube, doing marketing with it, it's today we have to think about doing much more on Instagram TV right now to share knowledge about Instagram TV, to do a new marketing channel, and the challenges all in one are now in 2018 everyone could sit in a garage with some guys and do the disruption thing. And so I talk a lot with the executives, and they ask me, Daniel, what should we do? It's so huge, it's so much, how can we start? To give you a little background, what is it like? So, all in all, I give you a quick insight in what I'm doing there. Right now, I'm educating 2 million people, online and offline. I can do it because I produced a lot of content for YouTube, mathematics tutorials. In 2009, I was at university, and it's the typical thing. It's Sunday evening. You have to go the next morning, 8 o'clock, to a professor who's coming out and doing the mathematical thing in short term. You don't know anything. And by the year 2008, 9, 10, I thought, let's look at YouTube. Perhaps YouTube can help me. And I found MIT professors who were sharing their knowledge. And I said, it's amazing. Lying half naked, Sunday evening in my bed, and I'm learning mathematics. So excited. So I said, well, let's do it. Produce mathematics tutorials. Right now I have two over 2,000 mathematical tutorials on YouTube. I've been seen over 130 million times. It's German. Sometimes I ask myself, oh, you should have done it on English. So it would be much, much more. But the key is the access now is so different than 15 years ago. Last week I spoke for Google about education. There were a lot of young guns, and I asked them, do you know what a library is? So 15 years ago, to get information, we had to go on a bus, go to the library, searching, not having the information we want. And now, the push of a button, I have access to all. Coding, mathematics, physics, learning this and that. It's completely different. Around that, I could build some other businesses. 3 years ago, we started with an offline version, offline courses. 20 people, 3 days to pass your exam. Three years later, we have 800 courses in 200 cities. Combined it with the videos, build a business around it, and actually now we are opening stores, education stores, with a new environment, like co-working spaces. How you get together, not the long run with the big stages, but very agile, and we're going on and on and on. And so I build businesses. I'm a mentor of startups, and a few years ago I get a phone call of a CEO in my city, Remscheid, 10th generation, stainless steel, always good, always the same. We cannot be disrupted. But you're always telling about this, something is going on, the challenges, come, let's talk about it. And I'm a little bit like an icebreaker. I'm telling them what's going on in the world. So I give them some insights of what's going on in the world, and you can't start with Instagram TV. That's too far away. So I try to do some insights who are obvious. And I often tell the story about Steve Jobs in the early 80s. He went to Xerox PARC with his executives, and in Xerox PARC they told something about the graphic user interface, and Steve Jobs said, that's it, I want to do something about it, which became the Macintosh. He built up a unit, the pirate unit, inside the corporate Apple, and the executives said, see, what are you doing? You're building something that is threatening our core business, the Apple II. And Steve said, better we do it than somebody else outside. In the early 80s, Steve didn't know that was the masterprint, the blueprint for in corporates building units with the spirit of a startup to threaten the core business, to build up something new. So the executives I'm coaching say, we don't have a Steve Jobs. And I say, it's not about Steve Jobs. It's about building your own startup in your corporate. So, how should I do it? Why should I do it? When I go on and I'm telling them the story about Blockbuster and Netflix. If you ask young guns about Netflix and Blockbuster, they say, yeah, Netflix, there I'm streaming all of my films. And Blockbuster is when a huge film comes out. But Blockbuster, by the year 2000, was the leading company for video renting, DVD renting. And the story is Reed Hastings, the CEO, founder of Netflix, went to the CEO of Blockbuster and said, let's do a corporation. And literally, he was laughed out of the room by the CEO of Blockbuster. 10 years later, 2010, Blockbuster was bankrupt. And Netflix went on, took the businesses from Blockbuster. They had thousands of stores where you came together renting a DVD, and they had analytics that said that people love, open up the DVD and look, meet each other. So Blockbuster went bankrupt. Netflix said they will shop online. They will rent online. But they have to be innovative. So they built teams. They did this lean startup, building, measuring, learning, building, measuring, learning with a high speed. And so Netflix transformed themselves, becoming a video streaming platform, and now is an AI-driven tech company, leading in the world. So you can imagine I'm sitting in front of an executive and said, oh my God, what should I do? How should I start? 2 weeks ago, I was in a deep discussion with the lead scientist of Fraunhofer, EIS in Bonn, Professor Baukage, and he said, when it comes to the impact of digital technology in business solutions, we haven't seen anything yet. The speed is so tremendous that's going on. We can't stop it. And so I come to continuous learning, lifelong learning. Executives, employees, students say, oh my God, lifelong learning, 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 learning. I have to learn, I have to learn. That's not fun. I say, why isn't it fun? It's fun to learn, to think about new things, to go to the internet, to go to YouTube, Instagram, whatever, searching for knowledge, gaining new stuff. That's so tremendous new. You must imagine, we can't tell we have a new unit, that's a startup unit, and we do this stuff. We have to do a lot of more education for the next generation, that they get aware of what's going on outside. So I come to the solutions. I'm talking a lot of exponential mindset. I do not know if you see the point 2018. Probably you might have heard of it, this takeoff point we are living in. The only thing the kids should have been taught is what's the exponential growth. So we are at a takeoff point now in 2018, where science fiction is becoming science fact. In shorter and shorter terms, more and more things will happening. Cloud computing, high performance computing, big data shared. It's an absolutely unbelievable progress in artificial intelligence. So much things come together. So the only thing you can do is, especially for a corporate, to do a cooperation so that you can train the people who should drive the innovation, how they learn, how they work, because in this world where we have to become exponential thinkers, the time of linear thinking is over. And if you speak to young guns with this, they say, oh my God, what should I do? And it's a complete new process for everyone who is doing a job in the next 10, 20, 30 years. What machines cannot do, what skills must I learn, like questioning, answering, discussions, being on point, new things in the internet. Oh, there is knowledge. I have to do this new stuff, coming together in the cloud, agile. That's so complete new that I think on this cooperation you have tremendous opportunities to produce content for the next generation also. Because I see those young guns. 3 years ago, everyone wanted to become an influencer as a status. Now they want to become founder or co-founder. What did you found? An app. We disrupt everything. So coming back to this art of startup, of entrepreneurship, it's not like, I do it like Zuckerberg and this. It's an art for itself, so you have to teach it in the right way. So we come to the future of universities, of what's the future of school. Why, I'm often asked, why should we go to school or university anymore? I have those information here. I can push a button, what do I want to learn? Coding. So I can learn coding. But not everybody is a Mark Zuckerberg or a Steve Jobs or whatever. So you have to bring them together in an environment where you can teach them directly to the future we are now in. And I think this cooperation of a corporate and a university could be a wonderful opportunity to give something for the kids, for the next generation, to lead them into this new world. And I would be happy to be a part of it, to share this knowledge with my community. In a peak point, I have around 700,000-800,000 users on my channel. And so I have an opportunity to give something for them. And I do not this, here's my photo, I'm here. All I'm doing is giving knowledge and trying to prepare them for the future. And I think out of this cooperation, this could become something for the next generation. So, pleasure to be here. I wish you all the best. Happy to be involved, and let's discuss something later on in the network. Thank you.